Okay, hi. And you say that the Chinese labor cost is very low. I understand that, but compared with the United States. But actually, and the Chinese labor cost is increasing more and more. And lots of Japanese manufacturing companies moving from China to the Southeast Asia. So I would like to know, I would like to get your comment from your experience.
The main direction now is the Philippines. The price of labor there is a third of China. Not quite a third. They're getting $3 an hour in Shanghai for a typical assembly plant, and that's almost pricing stuff out. They'll work $1.25 outside of Manila. And you've got all the CMs and sheet metal and PC fab houses. You know, I'm moving in that direction myself, but still China is such a powerhouse in manufacturing. You're never quite breaking ties with her. Even if you're having component and supply chain shipped to the Philippines, which is very not expensive, because they have similar trade laws that we have. They're set up for more to protect you for IP. They have that set up legally. You have some recourse instead of like, forget about it. You know, we've ripped you off. Oh, too bad. You'll never find your way fighting through a Chinese court. You just forget it. But, you know, and they have no tariff zones like we have in Milpitas, the free trade zones, where you can bring product in and you're not getting taxed on it. So you can assemble it, or partial products that come in, and maybe you're doing your boards there and your final assembly and your QC, you know, and it's getting packaged and shipped back here. And that's a big thing I'm looking at right now, because that's my world is manufacturing operations, not just mechanical engineering. But it's always that question like you asked. I'm getting asked that no matter where I'm at. It's like, what's the next, where are we going next? You know, so, you know, I mean, if you've seen the history, you know, I mean, I remember in the 60s, and I'm dating myself, that nothing but this cheap toys came out of Japan. And look at what happened there. Korea, Taiwan, we went into Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, bam, the massive exodus into China. And then it's trickled down into Vietnam, and now it's moving into the Philippines. And everyone's scratching their head and go, okay, the Philippines, but what after that? You know, so, you know.
I think part of it is very political too. The picture over my shoulder is a little factory town. This is 5 million people, which is a small town in China. And every one of these buildings you see is a factory, except for the 4-story tall buildings or taller. Those are dormitories. So there's a huge amount of infrastructure set up for manufacturing there. And it's something that the government and the people aren't going to let go, right? So part of what's going on right now probably has to do with some of that.
Yeah, and there's still so much technical know-how that it's so hard for most other countries to even compete at this point. You know, at Office Depot, we did deal with a lot of different countries. Thailand, we dealt with a lot for some of our furniture systems. Malaysia, we moved around, but the bulk of the business, 95%, all came out of China. We were always constantly looking for new businesses. We did a lot of paper out of South America because there were a lot of anti-dumping rules coming out of China, but still, you know, the bulk is still there. There might be some minor movement other places, but it's difficult to tell at this point what's going to happen once, you know, the labor rates keep going up. But, you know, I don't know if China's going to try to keep that low, or we'll have to wait and see.